Is that how they select the teachers that are going to?
No. I can decide who they go to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we get. As a principal, I get the notifications, and I'll go. Yeah, I think this teacher might be really good, or this teacher might be really good. So it's So I would possibly target, and I'd have a conversation with those teachers and say, look, are you keen to take on a student to, I think you'd be really good, you're really good at mentoring, that kind of thing. So you're identifying within your own staff.
Yeah, okay. Because see, the way it works in Finland, it's kind of like this. They dialed it down really well, but so they have their teaching colleges, and they're really selective, right? So like about top 10% of the cohort.
Yeah.
So they're getting the cream of the crop. And then their teaching colleges, their schools are really close to the college.
Yeah.
In walking distance. So the kids start teaching their first year, student teaching.
Yeah.
So they have 4 years of that. Well, actually 5, because they can't start without a master's.
Yeah.
And then they have teachers over here, and they select really the best teachers from the cream, and then they give them about a 40% less reduction class load to incentivize them to take on these teachers and to work with them.
Yeah.
So it's really whereas in the U.S. they wouldn't necessarily email the principal and ask them. A teacher would contact the college and say, hey, because they give them a little bit of stipend money. Yeah, I'll be a student teacher because I'll be a
tutor teacher or a mentor teacher. Yeah.
Because they have a hard time finding teachers. So in many cases, like, you could really be stuck with average or subpar teachers in your, and in my case, I was stuck with a subpar teacher. I mean, I learned what not to do.
Yeah.
And then thank God I had a really good teacher after that. I learned what to do. So, it makes a big difference.
It does. And so, we are quite picky. I mean, sometimes, we'll choose not to take on student teachers just simply because at the time it won't fit in with what we're doing as a school. So but I think most principals would actually be looking at that. They'll want if they've got people coming in to be for their placements, they'll want them to be going to really good teachers. Right. And we've got 4 students in at the moment, and they are with really good teachers.
Right. Maori, that's the Maori culture, right?
Maori.
Maori.
Yeah.
Do they speak that native language, right, from here?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the big things that teachers are really trying to do is actually trying to upskill into Te Reo Māori, so that's the Maori language. So a lot of us aren't fluent. I've been learning.
Right.
I've been learning, and as part of our curriculum that we do teach Te Reo Māori, so it is, it is part of, we try and integrate it, and I guess the bicultural nature of our curriculum means that we want to embrace things Māori as the original inhabitants of New Zealand kind of thing.
Did they always start that? Was it always that way?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Right. I mean, this has only been something in probably the past 30, 40 years. Right. And there's been a whole lot of political stuff in the background around the Treaty of Waitangi and how that's being honoured now. There's a whole lot of land taken off. All sorts. I mean, you think of what happened with the Native American Indians, and basically it's a whole lot of reparation stuff around what's happened in the past.
Yeah.
And as opposed to isolating, we've now tried to embrace.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed you didn't give me the nose touch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll do it as we depart. I'll give you the... Yeah. And so, and I think it's something that's really unique about New Zealand, that we're embracing the and it becomes something that's really rich about New Zealand. And when like last week was Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, Maori Language Week, and it was just great to see, even like across media, everything, that it was really embraced. That you listen to the radio, they'll be introducing the date in Māori, or introducing themselves as Māori. And so it's really about, in schools, it's about really trying to integrate that. I mean, we're not talking about indoctrinating, but we're making it a natural part of...
Yeah, because in America, they haven't done, they haven't given any type of recognition to American Indians.
No.
And, but in a lot of states, I mean, American Indians are a small sliver of the population.
They are.
Where Māori is, 30% here or no?
No, I don't.
For
Yeah,
for the whole population.
yeah. To be honest, I couldn't. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
And then in the American Indian, where you have big population centers is on reservations in the middle of nowhere, like South Dakota and Oklahoma, where they park them somewhere. Yeah. But I spent 6 weeks on a reservation. I was I had it. I let my mathematics credential go because I didn't want to teach that, but I had a degree in music. So I went before I taught. I taught on an Indian reservation in New Mexico, the Four Corners up there, and the people were just, they were a lot like the Mexicans, but they were just so. They were nice people, but they were so unmotivated.
Yeah.
And a lot of alcoholism.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean,
drugs.
That's a familiar story. Yeah.
The nephrology centers are always big. You always see big dialysis centers.
Yeah.
I mean, every reservation's got a dialysis center because, half their kidneys are blown, right?
Yeah.
From drugs, alcohol, cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah.
So, it was funny. I wasn't even close to the degree, and I show up. And the band director, the other guy, had just left. So there was an 18-year-old kid teaching the class. I'm like, he says, I'm the teacher. I go, yeah, you look a little young. I'm just wondering, tell me about it. Oh, I just graduated last year. So in talking about standards, the standard in New Mexico to be a substitute teacher is you only have to be a high school degree.
Wow.
Graduate. So here's an 18-year-old kid that's been teaching the class for the last 5
months or something, yeah.
5 months, and he's as young as the other kids.
Yeah.
So they asked me, they said, do you want to be the teacher here? We need a teacher. I go, well, I don't have a degree. It's okay.
Sweet as.
Yeah, we need somebody that's older than him.
Yeah. We need a warm body. Yeah. Who can maybe play a bit. Yeah.
It's really, it's not a good situation. They have a hard time finding people.
Absolutely. I know. Yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, for sure.
And they don't pay. They don't even give you an incentive. No. If there was pay, I think you might get some people out there that they don't even have that.
Yeah. I mean, and all that I've been sharing so far, it seems like it's a negative. It's not good. But to be honest, I've been in this gig for like nearly 25 years now. And I still love it. I still am passionate about seeing kids learn. And there are people who are out there who are still in it for the long haul because it's their calling, they're passionate about it. And I think, now that there's been there's a change of perspective around teachers. I mean, media are terrible. I mean, you just have to look at the comment section in under any education thing, and it's all teacher bashing and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about what you can do for your community, and if we can, and we're building a positive vibe in our community, and I think that's the important thing that we're trying to do. Yeah, is build that. If our community feels like this is a place where their kids are here and they're learning and they're safe, right? Then I think that's great. And the great thing is that we work in clusters as well. So we've got our kahuiako, which is our group of schools. So all the local Tawa schools, including the college, the intermediate as well. We get together and are working together as well. So we're not in competition. We're working in collaboration to create greater outcomes for kids across our wider community. And that's looking at those pathways from early childhood, when they start at, as 2, 3, 4-year-olds in early childhood, all the way through till they leave college, and trying to create those coherent pathways of smoothest transitions to get them from here all the way through to the end of college, and to leave college, possibly heading to higher education, but at the end of the day, just being great citizens who will make a difference for their community. Right.
Now, I noticed you got a van out here with a dental chair in it. Now, what's up with that?
So the dental van is basically, we've got, back in the day, every school used to have their own dental clinic with their own dental nurse. That building over there, you can just see out there, that used to be our dental clinic. And every school used to have that.
You mean a full-time person?
A full-time dental nurse who would not only cater for the school, but for the local kindergarten and stuff like that, and the community would come.
What would they do?
Oh, they would just do dental checkups and all that kind of thing, and do the odd little filling if it was needed, that kind of thing.
I mean, they'd have a dentist come in and...
Oh no, they'd be actually trained when we say dental nurse, it was a trained dentist, basically.
A dentist, right.
In every school.
Wow.
We're not talking about minor, we're not talking about major full-on surgical stuff,
right.
But fillings, cleaning, all that stuff. Every school used to have one.
Okay.
Have their own dental clinic. That became probably not seen as being cost productive, so they created dental hubs. So at some schools they host a dental hub. There's one up in Porirua, which is, and they've got like 3 or 4 dental vans, which then go, rather than having a dental clinic, once a year, the van goes out to a school.
So that's what these guys
do? Yeah, these guys are doing, yeah. So it's our turn for the dental van.
They actually fill teeth and stuff?
Yeah, they do fillings and they do cleaning and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. For the most part, it's often they do the fillings at the dental hub.
Dental hub.
Yeah, so it's like a central place.
Okay.
Yeah, where the vans sort of leave from. And they've got like a proper dental clinic there, then
they would tell that's paid for by the government.
Yeah, it's all free.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have that in the U.S.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And so we also have opportunity where we can in different parts of the community, like if you recognise that kids have got maybe hearing problems, they've got like an ear van where they can go and get their hearing checked and see if there's any things like glue ear and infections or things like that, and recommend further support like that. So,
and then as far as the, I was going to ask you real quick. One more question. Let me think. Let me think. I just had a. Well, I can't remember.
It'll come back.
Well, I think you've answered a lot of the questions. Is there a possibility we could walk into some?
Absolutely. I'll take you around and have a look at our school.
I think we got most of it. If I remember that, I'll.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dental. Oh, here we go. How about the U.S. is so focused into the food business in the schools. I mean, it's big business. Preparing meals, breakfast for the kids, snacks for the kids, lunch for the kids, and almost dinner for the kids. And, in a lot of countries, they put a lot of money in food and a lot that don't. This one seems to be, the food that's left up to the parents, right?
We brown bag it. Yeah.
You brown bag it here, or kids brown bag it in?
Yeah, they brown bag it in.
Right, and nobody's starving.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
There are kids who are who, due to family circumstances, are bringing pretty dubious looking lunches, maybe a bag of chips and a couple of biscuits kind of thing. What
do you do with that?
I think we keep it. If we seeing it as a regular thing, we may get in contact with the parent and just say, look, guys, if we're noticing this. Is there any way that we can support you? We've got loaves of bread and stuff like that in our fridge that if we see a kid who hasn't got a lunch,
oh really?
We'll just make him a sandwich or make him some toast or something like that. We do run a breakfast club 3 mornings a week on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Is that a free breakfast?
Free breakfast for kids, so they can rock up to school and they can get. Sometimes it's their only breakfast.
Do a lot of the kids?
Oh, we don't have heaps.
No.
But in some schools, especially in Porirua, they actually have a breakfast club where they may get 60, 70 kids through, and they're serving, decent meals. But that for some kids, that's the only decent meal they're going to get in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are ways that we are trying to, support, families who are obviously in situations that are not flash, that are not great at all. So, but for the majority, I mean. It's almost like a tradition that you just bring your own lunch. You bring your own lunch. We do have lunch orders where kids. We got an outside provider who does things like sushi, and on Fridays we have Friday Subway where parents can order the lunch.
How do they do that?
Oh, they do it online.
Really?
Yeah, there's an online app, and they can drop it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Through the school.
Yep. So it's done like it goes through the school, but it's a separate organisation.
Right.
But the school kind of just administers their part. So I just go on my phone and go, oh yeah, my kids want X, Y, Z, and it gets delivered to school, and they come pick it up at lunchtime.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just a little segue from that is that we do when we have our break times, we don't eat at the start of our break time. We eat at the end of the break time. Because we were noticing that kids basically, they just want to scoff their food and go out and play. So it's, you got your bag of chips, it's like, oh, and then go out and play. So now we do it at the end. So they actually have proper sit down, eat.
How long is their break time?
Okay, so we have morning tea is 20 minutes.
All right.
And lunchtime is an hour.
Wow.
But including in that is a 15-minute eating time. So 45 minutes play.
That's a long time. That's a long lunch. We wouldn't think as such in the U.S.
Yeah. And I guess it's that need that kids need to run off.
Right.
They need to run. We were having some conversations